I was taught that land was for planting, not for dreaming. But in the furrow of every wound left by violence, I found the seed of a purpose. To build what was once taken from us. Quick cut to a 9-year-old girl, Elena, runs barefoot through a coffee plantation, fleeing the dull sound of an approaching helicopter. Her eyes show a fear no child should ever know. Elena is like your client. She grew up in a remote village in Koka, a place where the smell of coffee mixed with a constant fear. As a child, her dreams were as big as her world, that the harvest would be good so she could buy medicine for her grandmother, to learn to read the stories that came to the school once a year, and maybe, just maybe, to see the ocean. After violence tore her from her land, her dream changed. It wasn't just about surviving anymore. It was about understanding why communities break apart and dreaming of creating places where peace could be as solid as concrete. Her deepest fear is silence. The silence that remained after fleeing. The silence of those who are no longer there. She's terrified that her accent, her calloused hands, and her story will mark her as different, inferior. A piece that doesn't fit in the big city or in the prestigious halls of a European university. She fears that, in the end, they'll discover she's a fraud, a farm girl pretending to be an academic. Elena's enemy has no face or name. It's a persistent shadow, an echo in her mind that feeds on her past. It's the inner objection, the voice of prejudice that she herself has taken in. This enemy constantly whispers to her, "Your voice doesn't matter here. They speak another language here. They think other things. What can you teach coming from nothing? Your ideas are simple. They're just stories. People like you don't lead. They obey. Be grateful they let you in. You're alone. No one can understand the weight you carry." After years of scholarships, night jobs, and strict discipline, Elena reaches her final master's project in international development and cooperation. Her proposal is her reason for being Aerial Roots, a model for socio-economic reintegration for returning coffee-growing women, based on historical memory and sustainable agriculture. The conflict breaks out in the office of her thesis advisor, Professor Dubois, a practical man and an expert in his field. Professor Dubois, glancing at the document with disinterest. "Miss Torres, your proposal is touching. It has a lot of folklore, but academia requires distance, objectivity. Development is not funded by sad stories. I need data, econometric models, not poetry. I recommend you pivot to a comparative analysis of microcredit policies in Southeast Asia. It's a more robust, more universal topic." The word folklore falls like a heavy stone on Elena. It's the echo of her enemy made real. The professor, without knowing it, has confirmed all her fears. The balance breaks. Elena feels naked, exposed, ridiculous. Her big dream turns into her big shame. For the first time, she considers giving up, choosing the robust path and forgetting her roots. Elena is about to give up. She calls her mother, hoping for a word of comfort, but her mother, a woman of few words but immense wisdom, tells her something that changes everything. "My dear, do you remember how we knew when the coffee was good? It wasn't from books. It was from the smell, from the color, from touching it. Your knowledge isn't in your head, it's in your hands, in your memory. Don't let them take it from you." That's the spark. Elena makes a big decision. She won't change her topic. She'll change how the world sees it. Over the next few weeks, she dives into a huge amount of work. Yes, she researches economic models, but she uses them to measure the value of trust, the return on investment of emotional healing, and the GDP of dignity. She interviews dozens of women from her region by video call and turns their sad stories into incredibly powerful qualitative data. She designs a business model where every bag of exported coffee has a QR code that tells the story of the woman who grew it. On the day of the final defense, Elena doesn't present a thesis. She presents a statement. The surprising moment. When she finishes, Professor Dubois doesn't speak. He stands up, walks over to the screen where the photo of one of the coffee farmers is displayed, and just stares at it. There's a tense silence. "Professor Dubois, my whole career, I've studied poverty as a numbers problem. You've shown it to me as a wound in the soul with an economic solution. You've reminded me that development, if it doesn't have a face, has no meaning. Miss Torres, your work isn't just strong, it's vital." The message is clear and powerful. What makes you different, what you think is your biggest weakness, is actually your most valuable resource and your strongest business strategy. Don't ask for permission to be who you are. Make money from being authentic. Your unique perspective isn't a problem, it's a market niche no one else can fill. Elena's story isn't a fairy tale, it's an action plan. She didn't wait for the world to understand her. She built a bridge with the bricks of her own story so the world could cross over to her. You also have a story, knowledge that doesn't come from books but from life, a knowing that's in your hands. Maybe the echo of your own enemy tells you it's not enough, that you need to be more like others. Elena used her memory to build a future. You can do the same. Stop seeing your story as just a tale and turn it into the foundation of your project. We give you the method, the structure, and the tools to turn your life experience into an irresistible value proposition.